Hi, my name is Autumn, and I'm, well, a kind of a bad luck charm. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? In fact, before I go into my story, why don't you try your luck? Subscribe today, and don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. Ever since I can remember, my parents were totally obsessed with old things that were super cool. No, they weren't dumpster divers. They were archaeologists. A major perk of my parents' job was that I was homeschooled and I got to travel the world. And I thought I was the luckiest kid on the planet. Well, till I turned 13. That's historically an unlucky number, and it really proved to be so in my case. My parents had taken me on a trip to the ancient Mayan civilization, and I'd found a rusty old pendant there during their dig. We were all fascinated by it, till we did our research and found out that pendants with the kind of symbol this one had were thought to be cursed. My parents just laughed and brushed it off as a silly old tale, but I couldn't shake off this horrible feeling I had, like I'd invited bad luck the second I touched it. And that feeling grew stronger when just a few months later, we were visiting the pyramids in Egypt, and I tripped and fell straight into a sarcophagus, and bam, I got trapped. Luckily, Mom found me in half an hour and rescued me, but I got this crazy rash for a whole week. And a few months later, I was at a fossil exhibit in a museum when I slipped on nothing and brought down a whole dinosaur skeleton with me. And on another trip to India, I helped my parents discover this epic artifact that we gave to a museum back home. And we got tons of recognition and even money for this rare find. But just a few weeks later, the museum contacted us to say that further investigation had led to the artifact being proved as a fake. Not only was my parents' reputation ruined, they ended up in a lawsuit of $500,000. I just couldn't figure out how they'd made such a huge mistake. But I knew it was me and my bad luck. At 15, I got seriously sick after I'd returned from some archaeological site, and my parents decided it was best for me not to accompany them once I'd recovered. They left me at my grandma's, and I was okay with that. My parents were better off without me jinxing their luck. And sure enough, they found an ancient statue soon after, got their credibility back, and they were famous again. By the time I was 16, my parents decided it was better if I stayed with Grandma longer and attended high school like a normal kid. That freaked me out. Sure, I aced my studies with Mom, and I guess I was pretty enough, but I was so scared that people would find out I was nothing but bad luck and hate me. On the very first day of school, Grandma handed me a beautiful necklace. This was my mother's. It brought me good luck as a teen, and now I'm passing it on to you. I couldn't believe my ears. Does it really bring good luck? I have you as a granddaughter, don't I? I was thrilled and immediately put it on, and something amazing happened. I instantly felt like a lucky person. And will you believe it? High school was amazing. All my classmates were interested in hearing about the sites I went on with my parents, which made me super popular. On my first day, I got the last piece of lasagna in the school's cafeteria, and a month later, I was chosen as the lead female in a play at school of Romeo and Juliet. Who knew that I was such a great actor? I was psyched. Grandma's necklace was the lucky charm that I needed. But one day, I walked into the girls' bathroom and found my slightly weird classmate Claudette on the floor, surrounded by the school's queen bee Becky and her minion. You promised me an A on my history paper, and I got a C. You know what that means. I couldn't stand by and do nothing, so I stumbled into the bathroom, hand over my mouth and stomach, and pretended to be ill. I think I'm gonna be sick. Becky looked grossed out, and I thought she would leave. Crisis averted, right? Wrong. Becky grabbed my shoulder and spun me around, and I puked all over her. But don't worry, I wasn't ill. What no one knows about me is that I can make myself puke on command. It's gross, yeah, but it comes handy in situations like this. Anyway, I threw up all over Becky, and even convinced the school nurse that I must have eaten some funky noodles in the cafeteria. And when the principal caught wind of the illness possibly caused by cafeteria food, he dismissed school early, fearing an outbreak among other students. And just like that, I'd made an enemy out of the school's queen bee, and now I had to try not to get stung. As I geared up for school the next day, anxiety kicked in. I had no clue what Becky had cooking for me. Why did I have to stick my nose where it didn't belong? As I walked out the front door, someone tapped on my shoulder. Hi, Autumn. You. How do you know where I live? I sort of followed you home yesterday. Not a stalker, promise. Let's tag team against Becky. Deal? I decided 2 heads were better than 1, so why not? Walking to school, Claudette spilled the beans that she and Becky were BFFs until 13 hit, and Becky went full-on drama queen when her father ran off with Becky's mother. Yikes! This was getting worse and worse. I'm counting on you. As soon as I entered the school, I was on guard for sinister clowns, blowtorches, even farting cushions, but nothing happened. I was so confused. Maybe Becky was on vacation, or maybe I was lucky and she forgot. It happens, right? But during lunch, I noticed Becky smiling evilly at me. Just then, my fork fell to the ground. As soon as I bent to grab it, a football whizzed past my head and landed straight into Becky, who was sneaking up on me with a bucket of mud. All of it fell on her, and she looked like a swamp monster. All the kids laughed at her, and she bolted out of the cafeteria. Necklace 1, Mud Queen 0. Over the next few days, Becky tried all kinds of shenanigans. One day, she added hot sauce to my facial cream, but luckily, that fell out of my bag and another girl found it. When she put it on, she had to be rushed to the nurse's office. Another day, while Claudette and I stood under the trees chatting with our history teacher about our 100% on the exams, we heard Becky scream. She fell from above with water balloons filled with blue ink, and she was covered in ants. She ended up with a sprained ankle and looked like a smurf for a week. After that incident, Becky left Claudette and me alone, and life was perfect. Thank you, Necklace. So, in the following months, I was free to pour my energy into the drama club, effortlessly stepping into every female lead role, while Claudette worked magic behind the scenes with wardrobe. Together, we made each rehearsal feel like a Broadway preview. And then something crazy happened.
A famous Broadway actor is going to grace us with their presence at our next play, and they'll handpick one of you for their next production.
This was the golden ticket to step into the vast world of theater. Dreams I hadn't even dared to dream were suddenly within reach. The weeks leading up to the play were exhausting, but I knew that once I put in the work, I'd get the part. But the day before the play, my luck disappeared. Literally. As I stood in the girls' bathroom, gazing into the mirror, I noticed that my necklace was gone. Oh God, where is my necklace? Frantically, I tore through every nook and cranny of the bathroom. Nothing. I ran to the cafeteria and my locker. I even tried to search for it in the principal's office, but he kicked me out. I know. That didn't make any sense, but I was desperate. Sue me. Or better yet, help me find that darn necklace. Did you find it? Oh, jeez, what was I gonna do? Since I'd lost my necklace, I suddenly lost my mojo, and by the time the play rolled around the next day, I was a disaster. As I stood behind the curtains, waiting to go on stage, I was sweating more than a turkey on Thanksgiving. Grandma and Claudette tried to comfort me. Autumn, honey, you'll be okay. Yeah, bestie, we'll be in the audience rooting for you. But I wasn't okay. When I stepped onto the stage, my lines evaporated into thin air. And as I just stood frozen in awkward silence, a prop decided to land on my head. I woke up in the hospital, and not only were Claudette and Grandma sitting there, but to my astonishment, so were my parents. Mom, Dad, and Grandma and Claudette, we're all here for you.
Oh, honey, I'm so happy you're awake.
What are you guys doing here?
Grandma told us about the play, and we wanted to come and support our baby.
More like making a total fool of myself. If only I had my necklace. My parents shared a strange look. What aren't you guys telling me?
The necklace isn't lucky.
What do you mean the necklace isn't lucky?
Sweetie, you were so scared to try new things because your bad luck, good luck theory damaged your self-esteem over the years. So, I sent the necklace to Grandma telling her to give it to you.
So, the only way to boost my self-esteem was to lie to me? I couldn't believe it. I felt like such a fool. Grandma got up and sat next to me and held my hand.
Autumn, would you have done everything you did if you didn't have the necklace?
Well, no, but that doesn't mean... So then it worked. Parents do crazy things all the time to help their kids because they love you.
I've seen you become so confident.
You saved me from freaking Becky.
Honey, you've always had that confidence inside of you. Now, you need to prove it to yourself.
But I was still furious. And when I was discharged and got home, I locked myself in my room. Over the next few days, I stayed under the covers and watched videos. Then one afternoon, Grandma walked in with some milk and cookies.
Autumn, I hate seeing you like this. You have so much to offer the world, sweetheart.
I'm nothing without that necklace, Grandma.
The necklace was nothing. It was all you.
As if.
Tell you what, why don't you try to go back to school and see how things go? If it goes badly, I'll convince your parents to homeschool you again. Deal?
I threw my arms around Grandma. Deal. The next day, I went back to school and I felt different at first. But then something amazing happened. I started feeling more confident in who I was. Did everything go as planned? No way. I made mistakes along the way, but I learned from them and it made me a better person. After all, isn't that what life's about? Learning who you are and becoming comfortable in your own skin? The last year of high school, I really focused on my dreams of becoming an actress. I even purchased another necklace to remind me that I have everything it takes to become whoever I wanted to be. It wasn't long before I graduated high school, and right after, I landed a spot on Broadway, before I snagged my first huge movie role. After my movie debut, we had a huge party. Suddenly, one of the waitresses tripped, and the drinks spilled all over me. The waitress looked terrified as she tried to wipe my dress. I'm so sorry. Please don't tell my boss. I can't afford to lose my job. It's okay. Accidents happen. When I realized that all eyes were on us, I gently ushered her into a quiet room. I found out the girl's name was Rhea, and she wanted to become a musician. She told me that she had just been diagnosed with ADHD. I'm so unlucky. I spent years feeling like a failure. Now, it's too late to even try. I knew what she was going through. Suddenly, I had a brilliant idea. I took off my necklace. My grandmother gave me this lucky necklace when I was a teen, and I'd like to give it to you. Is it really lucky? I'm a famous movie star, aren't I? Don't look at me that way. You would have done exactly what I did. Rhea hugged me and thanked me for the necklace before she left. It was only then I truly understood why my parents did what they did. They saw my potential even when I didn't see it in myself. And to Rhea, feel free to let me know how the necklace has treated you in the comments.